So it's Thursday night in Westview at Tiny Box Vape Shop, America's premier vape shop, whether you're in Kennedy or Westview, and you can see it from the shop. But that's not why you're here. You're here to start your 3-day weekend the correct way, because Thursday night's the new Friday night. Yes, 7 days in the week, but only one time will you have Season 1, Episode 7 of the Chino Brothers. So as much as you love being a Tiny Box Vape Shop, and I don't blame you, right now's not time for that. Right now it's time for the next episode of the Chino Brothers.
That was scary.
One?
That was great.
It was scary
at the end. Yeah, you gave the Mad Dog look like we.
Oh, when
serious.
I walked in on it.
Yeah. We're like, we ain't playing this time.
Yeah,
oh my gosh, you know what dude? It's been if those watching, it's been a little wacky behind the scenes, but when is it not? When is it not? You know, I mean, if we could share a little bit. Got a new computer because the old one's tripping, right? And then so I was like, you know, I got a day job, you know, so I'm like, I got to do this like on my breaks and whatever too. So it's like, oh dang, but we make it work, man. That's how we do it. I love the intro. I love it.
Did you love that intro? Good, because I didn't have a crew. Very good lighting, Mike. Thank you, Joe.
Nice.
Dude, Joe played me a song that that's what we should have played today, but oh well, maybe in the next episode. So Joe sent me a song that he had produced, and it sounds really good. He made it. I'm assuming he's doing the instrumental, and there's a lady singing on it. It was amazing. But it was on SoundCloud, and I don't have SoundCloud. So
is it the official Chino Brothers intro song?
No, it was just dude, it was just really cool. Like, I can't really explain it. It was kind of like a hip hop beat, but like it was really neat. So,
oh, that's cool.
That was it.
Okay, right on. Looking forward to hearing it actually. And now, dude, this is great. You know, I got some comments from people about Malik's being on our last show.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. And the more we started talking about it, there's actually more stuff to uncover about Malik's.
Oh man, I thought about a lot of stuff.
Did you?
Yeah, like I thought about a lot of things, but a lot of things I thought about, I was like, that's probably not that appropriate.
I think I know which story you're thinking of.
Yeah, but I bet you do.
What's the podcast website thing you always bring up? Paranoid? What is it? Pantheon? What is that?
What's that? I'm sorry. The podcast thing I always bring up?
Yeah, the podcast service.
Pandora?
Not Pandora. And I just saw a news article about it. I was like, that's the one Mike's talking about. That's where we could go a little bit more adult content, right? And I'm not saying it to say like, oh, we got to get dirty and pervy and stuff. I'm just saying there's stuff, you know what? This is going out in the open. You don't know who's watching. So, you don't want to get too crazy and stuff.
I'm still trying to remember what service you're thinking of.
And you've mentioned it to me. Paragon? It's driving me nuts. Anyways. You guys watching, you guys don't want to hear about it. You'll see it. It's kind of like OnlyFans for podcasts. Anyways, we'll think about it. But okay. You know what we also we talked about but didn't talk about was when I got hired on at Hot 98.3 back in Tucson. We talked about the money and stuff. And man, Mike, I was working my day job at Teletech. You're working various day jobs and night jobs, So Mike even did day labor, dude. So I got to shout that out because that sounds like a rough, horrible, tough way to make a living.
It was a rough, horrible, terrible way to make a living. You lived with me while I was doing it. So it's not like it's like, oh yeah, I heard that Mike did that. It's like, no, me and Adley were roommates. And I was like, well, I got to go dig ditches today. So we'll see how this turns out. But
yeah. Yeah, because I remember that too. Yeah, Mike would come back pretty upset, pretty angry at the end of the day, like, ugh. And because I worked at Teletech, which was a call center, and Joseph is saying he can make us a theme song though. Okay, I like it. I like the idea.
Yeah, me and Joe were kind of kicking it around, but I was like, dude, when Joe drops it, then I'll play it for Adley. That'll be a big surprise. That was my thing.
Oh, okay. Ooh, whoops! Did I ruin the surprise? Sorry.
Not really.
Yeah, but I remember, and I'd graduated college too. Did the camp radio thing. That's the radio station at University of Arizona. We did that. I was like, oh man, I've completed this step, this milestone. In the next milestone, I'm gonna, my next goal is to work in professional radio, and how long did it take between having a job and getting into radio? It took a while. It did take a while. And I remember too, another thing we did in between was my day job at Teletech. It was UPS. So people would call and be like, I need to schedule a pickup. This is way before computers doing apps on your phone and stuff now. So they call you or to track your package. And there's some awful stories there. Cause I remember, I don't know if I told you this, Mike, but even like I had to work Christmas Eve and people were calling like, where's my package? It's like, you ain't getting it till 26th of December. and I would get yelled at all the time. And people be like, I can't believe this. Here's a real story about that too. One of the packages, the dad called, is like, I'm taking my daughter skiing next week and they need their tanning bed.
Oh my god.
So they can be tan when they first hit the slopes. And I was like, dude, it's 11 p.m. Christmas Eve. It's not showing up, man. I'm sorry.
It's 11 p.m. Christmas Eve, and I have to go home to my roommate Thomas, who hasn't paid rent this month, picking his toes.
Yeah.
Sorry about that tanning bed.
We've got a Christmas Eve dinner scheduled with my roommate Mike with chicken livers and gizzards. And I really can't stay on the phone any longer.
And maybe a little ramen. So
yeah. Oh yeah. That was if it was a good week. If it was a payday, yeah, we got.
Oh
ramen. Yeah. But it was stuff like that. And even had one time where the lady was calling me like, oh, my husband's prescriptions. She was crying. She's like, I gotta get the pad. I was like, I don't know what to tell you, man. There's a CVS. There's got to be one close to you. Maybe you can hit them up. But we've had crappy jobs before that. But anyways, just speaking about the money. And you think about it, what did we do in between? We started that little magazine, remember?
Yeah, well, so we had Too Strong Entertainment. So that was Adlay's brainchild, was Too Strong Entertainment. And what he wanted was for it to be like an actual like record company and like all these different things. But it was a quick way to pay the bills by playing records at places. And we had turntables and lots of records. So then there was the magazine, Too Strong and Poppin'. But that was like an e-zine. So like we were DJs. We had a crew. We had 6 people in the crew. It was me, Adlay, Pete, Ryan, Thomas, and Martin. And so there were 6 of us, and we were the crew. And so we'd go out like, man, I can't even remember what time we'd leave for Gentle Ben's. Like 8 o'clock, you think? 8 o'clock?
Yeah. We'd get there, set up around 8-ish, and play probably from 9 to, was it 1? I feel like last call was 1 when we started, and then they bumped it to 2 eventually. But I think we played from like 9 to 1.
But the thing is that like we all had day jobs still. So I feel like you were still at Teletech, and then you were cooking then.
I was at Desert Cafe at the restaurant.
Yeah, you were cooking at Desert Cafe because I was bussing tables. And we're like old at this point, you guys. It's not like it's like, well, you're
mid-20s, 27, something like that. Yeah. Grown. We're definitely grown. Yeah.
Yeah, like we have these horrible day jobs, and then it's like, okay, but on Friday night we're playing records at Gentle Ben's, and
wherever we could pick up a gig too. So we but the magazine was the in between thing, and that was, believe it or not, this is crazy to think about. We'd write stories, we'd interview local rap groups. Holy crap! Are you okay? You there?
I absolutely knew that was gonna happen.
You okay, dude? Holy crap! Everything
Sorry
okay?
about that.
Are you all right? Uh-oh. Can you hear me? Whoa.
I so knew that was going to happen.
Ladies and gentlemen,
knew that was going to happen.
This is live.
Yeah, I know. Well,
right now.
So I was like, oh, dude, this chair doesn't seem very stable. And then I was like, I'll sit on it anyways. And then I'm like, I need to lean back.
Yeah, dude, this is relating to that too. Just yesterday, my kid, he's 10 years old, and he's got one of the mini lawn chairs, the plastic ones.
Yeah.
And it's pretty jacked up, but he's all, Dad, can you turn on the fan? So I'm like, all right, I'll just stand on this plastic chair. Holy crap, dude, the leg broke and I ate crap and I just went face first, dude. And being a man, you got to stand up, be like, nothing hurt, but oh gosh, dang, dude, that hurt. But yeah,
what do you
be
think
careful,
I'm
bro.
feeling right now?
Yeah, be careful, dude. Be careful.
Kidding.
I'm like, holy cow.
Oh, dude, sorry about that. Oh my gosh, I knew that was gonna happen because I was like, I'll put 2 boxes up here, and then that way it'll be kind of higher. And then I'm like, it's probably a bad idea. But come on, man, I interrupted your story. Go ahead.
No, it's cool. We got to see what's up. Felix checking in. What's up, homies? And oh yeah, the Too Strong and Poppin'. So we put this magazine together, and this is again back before good computer technology. So I had that, I don't know, crappy computer that we had to type it up on, and we had we had to connect at the print store too, which is pretty crazy to think about. Do you remember that?
Yes, at Kinko's.
Was it Kinko's? Yeah,
the dude. We'd give him like $20, and he'd just be like, "Go ahead, print as much as you want." So we print flyers for the clubs, and then we'd print Too Strong and Poppin'.
Yes, so. and then we'd hand out this magazine. We go put it at all the local little record stores and barbershops and stuff. Too Strong and Poppin', and it actually kind of built up some steam. And we'd interview, like I said, local rap groups. We'd have like little kind of keeping it hood, balling on a budget, little sections and stuff too. And Mike even had you wrote some stuff in there too.
I had the Sketch the Monkey Boy section where I would just be like, dude, I'm tempting fate again by sitting on this chair.
Dude, are you sure? You don't look very confident.
No, I'm not. But here's the thing is that like, I want to lean back, and I haven't been able to lean back for like the past 3 episodes, and I had to work a double today, which is why I'm at the shop still. Because I'm like, well, shop closes at 9. Show starts at 9.
The show must go on. The show must go on. The show must go. So be careful, dude. You got a pillow or something back there?
No, but like I knocked down a bunch of e-juice, which sucks because that means I got to pick it up afterwards. All right.
Okay.
So yeah. So like we had Too Strong Entertainment, and Too Strong Entertainment was essentially like we had all these ideas for it, but it became kind of a DJ crew. And then Adlai was like, okay, let's start an e-zine. I remember, dude, we had like 3 weeks of conferences about Too Strong and Poppin' when we were going to put out Too Strong and Poppin'.
You're talking meetings, right?
Yeah. So it was, and then like Pete was in the crew, and Pete was somehow like the editor, where he's like, no, you can't write about that. Because I was going to write about the Funk Junkies. Like, you can't write about the Funk Junkies. And I'm like, why?
The Funk Junkies? That'd have been great. They're from, aren't they Phoenix?
Yeah, they're
an Arizona Phoenix crew. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think I did write about the Funk Junkies though. Anyways, I was just like, well, Pete, you need an article. Here's mine.
Dude, remember we would actually do record reviews. Remember, we'd like pick up records and like write about them and stuff, and be like, "Oh yeah, this blah blah."
Yeah, that's what I was writing about everything. The Funk Junkies. That's what.
Oh, okay, so you did an actual album review about. Yeah. Okay, very cool. And the craziest part was this magazine. We would also try to sell advertising.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if you remember this. I finally got someone to buy a full page for like $100, and I was so excited. And it was Ujima Records. Records.
I remember it now. Yeah, I asked you.
So he's like, yeah. So we put it on the back page, and he had like he was kind of had like a bunch of different artists and albums coming out. So it was kind of like a No Limit kind of style. He had all these album concepts ready to go. So we put them all up there. We the Ujima Records here was the cool thing about anybody watching trying to get in the biz. This is kind of how Mike and I kind of did it, because that magazine, it circulated around Tucson and people saw it, and remember, we'd get bands, we'd take them downtown, do like a whole photo shoot. And God, what was there was Aquafied Boogie was another group out of there. And they loved it too, because, we're like, hey, we're somewhat legit, Too Strong and Poppin', this little magazine. I mean, it was on paper, and it was probably our biggest one was 10, 12 pages. It wasn't huge. Yeah, it wasn't a big thing, but we do it. And word got around, and these groups would help us blow up, and people would start reaching out to us like, hey, we want to be in the next one. We want to be the next one. And I think, Mike, you even interviewed, was it Mad Lad? Was that Rica Vindo, Mad Lad? Shout out to those guys, man. And they were one of the crews back in the 90s over in Tucson too. And so we do this, and it blew up. And here's the crazy part. I got my job at Teletech. And I had a college degree, so I'm thinking, where's the great job with the big money? Dude, you still had to hustle regardless. But I called Paco every other day on my break at work to be like, hey, what's up? It's Adelaide. I applied for the gig. I'm ready. Blah, blah, blah. This. We got this magazine. It's doing well. Too strong. Blah, blah, blah. All the stuff. So, but every other day I called them. And Mike, when you're at the station, you get 50 messages a day.
Yeah.
At least, whether it's record reps, whether it's local artists, whether it's, people that want a job like me, So it just kept going and going. And I remember this is over 6 months, at least 6 months. And oh yeah, what's up? DJ Prospect in the house representing Delano. What's up, Albert?
Dude, Yerm said what's up to us too. We got to put up Yerm.
Oh, did I skip him? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Richie Yerm, man. Bad. What's up, Yerm? I'm sorry. It's okay.
Nice. What up, Rich? My bad. I'm sorry. I did see it out of the corner of my eye, and then Mike fell. I think that's what.
Yeah, that's probably what happened. I fell like a freaking like a tumbleweed. I was like, oh, see you later.
Yeah, that was out of nowhere. But the thing was, I think Mike and I both had that mentality at this point. Dude, make it or break it, man. Whatever we do, we're gonna be in the music business, no matter what it took. So, dude, we had this magazine, Too Strong and Poppin'. We put out, I don't know, a year's worth of episodes or a year's worth of issues, over a year. Yeah, whatever. And I remember being at that point. I was like, look, Mike, dude, if I don't get a job at the radio station working for Art LeBeau, we got to figure out what we're going to do. Hey, another Baco boy coming in. DJ Doc, what's up?
Good. We're getting your crew now.
Nice.
We have my
nice.
crew and your crew together. Word.
We got to get some of these guys too. This will be fun. But yeah, dude, in the 90s, the hunger was real. No matter what we did, we were going to make it. And this magazine, Too Strong and Poppin', I remember we went to go cover an Ujima Records event at Bugsy's. Do you remember that?
Dude, hold on, because I love your story, but I remember it different. Can I tell it different?
I'll pause.
We'll end up at the Bugsy's event.
The same spot. Okay.
Because I knew where you were going. Yeah, I knew where you were going. So here's the thing. So Adelaide comes up with this concept and he's like, okay, Ujima, like Too Strong and Poppin'. Albert Salazar says, vape life. Thanks, homeboy. So he's like, Too Strong and Poppin'. So we would every week, no, it's just that when you get this old, you gotta have people filling
slacking with age.
Okay. Your brain just doesn't remember every single detail, and I remember details he doesn't remember. So every week we would all write our articles for Too Strong and Poppin', and then we would turn them into P. Then we'd go to the hookup over at Kinko's and we'd print them. Then we would go down to the dorms and everybody would staple them together, would put them together and staple them together. So we'd have like an assembly line and it would be like Randy, Thomas, Marisa, Janae, and they'd all be like, wow. and then we'd have it. And then after that, you would go to every Zia Records and put them up on the shelf and just put them on the shelf.
Go to the record stores. Oh yeah, because we'd want to ask, but we'd be like, "Yeah, we're just gonna throw them up there."
Yeah, and then, but you were like you'd go and you'd take it down, and then you'd go and put it back up. Like so, you take down last week's episode or last week's issue, then you'd put up the new issue, and then we bounce. And you and I would run around to all the Zias and put up the magazines. Okay, now smash cut to Adelaide gets this advertisement from Ujima Records, and then. The caveat was you have to come to our showcase and write on it. That was the caveat. Oh. So yeah, that was the caveat. And so that's how we ended up at Bugsy's. So you were going down there to meet Ujima Records. That's why we were going. You were going down to meet the guys. What was the guy's name that ran it? It was
I can't remember, but I remember his son, his little brother had that song where he sampled Guilty Feet.
Yeah.
That's what I remember. Gosh darn it. It's super cool dudes. Really
all right,
cool.
So now pick up from Bugsy's.
Okay, yes. Yeah, so we're at the event.
I almost fell off again.
Don't do it. So we go, and this is at Bugsy's. And we talked about Bugsy's, I think, last week or the week before, but that was one of those clubs in Tucson and in a shopping mall, right? And so we go there. And I'm ready. I got my pad and paper ready to take notes. I got my disposable camera ready to take pictures and stuff, the acts and stuff. And one, I can't remember the guy's name. Some kid. He's the next one on the list to have an album out. It was his record release party or something. And I was like, hey man, congratulations, on the album coming out. I'm Adelaide. This is Sketch from Too Strong and Poppin'. And we're like, yeah, we got this set up. So we're gonna, you're our next feature for our next issue. And that dude was super excited. Like, oh my gosh. He was like, I can't believe it. I've made it. I'm going to be in a magazine. Do you remember that? You remember that, Mike? And I was just kind of looking at Mike like, well, we distribute about 50 to 100 a week or whatever, so,
we print them at Kinko's. I don't know. Yeah, that's a famous place.
It's published by Kinko's, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
It was, but he was super excited. And I didn't want to, burst his bubble, whatever, So I was like, yeah, man, this will be cool, man. Well, tell us about yourself, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he just was super excited, so thankful and everything. And I think he even actually called his mom and called her to say, Mom, be on the lookout for this Too Strong and Poppin'. I'm going to be in a magazine. So, but who pulls up? The Hot 98.3 van.
Exactly.
Pulls up to the gig. And I was at that point where I was like, this guy never returns my calls. I email. I think I'd even showed up to the station like, hey man, put me to work. I'm here, whatever. And it was a struggle, man. And Mike knows, man, you grind and we got in there. And then sure enough, I'm like, I was almost kind of like, I imagine like you're a dude, you're in high school, you've been trying to get at some chick forever and she keeps ignoring you. And then you get to your point, you're like, you know what? I'm moving on. I don't care about her. I almost don't like her at this point. Like there's a bad taste in my mouth. I've tried so hard, but whatever. So Paco rolls up to me. He's like, hey. And I'm like, hey, Paco, yeah. I left you a message, whatever, but he's like, hey, you write that magazine, Too Strong and Poppin', huh? And we're like, yeah, that's us. That's what we do that. He's all, I'm calling you tomorrow. I've been trying to get a hold of you because we want to put you on. And that was crazy because I don't know how Mike, how you felt about it, but I was like, at that point, it was like, dude, I'm done. We're moving on. We got to find some other way to make it. And that was the road to Hot 98.3, working for Art LeBeau, the initial one. And to add to that, Fred Rico, shout out to him. I think he's in Hawaii, last I heard, but he was the music director. He's like, Adley, yeah, Paco wants me to set it up with you. We'll get you in the office. We'll go through an air check. We'll get you on and all this stuff. So I went in with my camp radio air check. And now, if you remember that,
I remember our air checks from camp.
The air check.
Hold on. Tell this story while I make sure this chair doesn't fall. I'm going to duck down for just a second.
Sure. Okay, yeah. So the air check machine in a radio station now, it's all digital, right? So every time you hit the mic button on, it records your voice. That's what an air check is. So you record your voice, and then you put that in at a 3-minute MP3 file, whatever, and that's how you shop your air check. Now, back then it was cassette tapes. So every time you push play on the microphone, it would record on the tape. You'd hear the tape kick on, you start spinning, and hey, what's up, Hot 98.3, whatever, whatever station. And then you'd have your cassette tape of air checks, and you'd shop those. Now, camp radio had a cassette player that was recorded, but it recorded everything. So if you had a 90-minute tape, as you old school heads like me know, 90 minutes was the long ones, whereas 45 minutes on each side. So you drop that in, and you'd be doing your air check. The only problem is it had 3-minute songs in between each talk break. So Fred Rico's looking at me, and Fred Rico, big dude, 7 foot tall, big old Mexican cat, and super cool guy though. But yeah, he's just looking at me like hitting fast forward, and it's just like a Biggie song, or it's a
he listened to your air check in front of you.
Yeah.
Was that like the interview? He listened to the air check in front of you.
Yeah, that was the first time I met him. I brought it with me because I'll be honest, we didn't know. I didn't know I probably didn't even know what an air check meant. I mean, that's how much camp radio was kind of, you play music and hang out. But yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and college radio did not prepare us to be in real radio. We'll start there, and we'll continue.
It didn't really. Yeah.
I don't understand. Like they didn't listen to my air check there at Hot, but yeah. So like they didn't. So okay, I didn't have an air check, but I'll tell you about
mine. They're probably like, it's a waste of time. Just throw them on. We need a guy. Let's get him on there.
Well, so like getting to what you're saying. So like we were at this place, dude, we grinded a lot. And I'm trying to remember how many years we put into it. But when you're in your 20s, 2 years seems like 1,000 years,
Forever.
I guess, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So we were at the grind for a good long time. And then, so when you got your job and you're like, well, how'd that, you know, what do you think? Here's exactly how I remember this story. So, I had wanted to be on radio forever. And about 8 months, 5 months before Adlai got his job at Hot 98.3, we met this lady called Kathy Rivers. And she came to our college radio station. So we were in college radio. She came down and spoke to our college radio station and talked to us about being a disc jockey, how to get a job, how to do an air check, like all these things. Maybe not how to do an air check apparently, but she told us how to do all these things. And then, and at the time we were DJing at Gentle Ben's. So I invited her to come watch us DJ. You remember this story, Adlai?
Vaguely, but yeah. That's one of those ones that's coming back.
Yeah. So she came to Gentle Ben's with her producer, and then she came up to me and she was like, hey, next month we're going to be looking for a new morning show DJ. You should apply. And so I was like, okay. So I put in my application, but what I didn't realize was it was one of those wacky contests where it's like, hey, everybody, we're looking for a morning show guy. And then it was like, a pirate calls, like, hey, I want to be on the morning show. And like a lady with just cartoon voices, just like, it was just like all these random weird people. And then me. And so they were like, okay, we're going to put you on the air. Let's see if people call in. And Adlai and Thomas were so afraid no one was going to call in. They called in from the other room. like Thomas called and then Adlai called, like pretending to be like just listeners that wanted to ask me questions. Then you had an on-air interview, like you actually cracked the mic with them on the morning show, and we produced bits for it at Too Strong. We produced all these bits that I brought with me, so that way
I do remember that. Bits. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we played these funny bits, and then like I did like my bit on Scooby-Doo or something. Like, remember I used to do those bits on Scooby-Doo or the cartoons that from the cereal. So I went in and I did my Scooby-Doo bit where I'm like, Shaggy's a stoner, Fred doesn't like chicks, Daphne's really just taking advantage of everybody. Like, I'm just going off. And so they were like, oh, this guy's funny. And my name was Sketch the Monkey Boy. That was my radio name, Sketch the Monkey Boy. And then me and Thomas were driving one day and I heard them say, and we choose Sketch the Monkey Boy. And so I was like, oh my gosh. So I started working at the Point.
Okay. Yep.
And then with Kathy Rivers, I was working at this radio station called The Point with Kathy Rivers. And I was the guy that would go to the silly contest where the people would live in the cars and all this stuff. And then one day I made a bet with one of the other jocks because I just wanted it to be funny. I'm like, dude, you have to shave your body and shave your head if you lose this contest. And I knew who was going to win the contest. It was the last two people in the car. I knew the girl was going to outlast the guy, but he wouldn't make the bet on the girl. So I was like, all right, fine, I'll bet on the guy. So of course, the guy got kicked out of the car first. I had to shave my head.
This is to win a car.
It was to win a car, right? Exactly.
Okay.
So I had to shave my head because the guy won the car, or the girl won the car. The guy didn't win the car. And I was in the middle of Speedway. I didn't know we were live on the air. And they're like, Sketch, is it busy out there? And I was like, it's busy as beep. And then they called me and I said, shit. I said, it's busy as shit. They called me in. They fired me right there on the spot.
I remember that. Jeez.
And dude, when they called me, I went to Studio 230 to our apartment and I just lied on the floor, like just in a ball. So yeah, then they called me in, they fired me, and I was like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? Dude, and that's when Hot Rod Ron still worked there. So like I had started making an air check and I showed up and Hot Rod Ron was working the Sunday night. I was like, bro, I got to get this air check because I'd left it there. And he's like, don't worry, Sketch, I won't tell anybody. So I went in, I grabbed it, and I bounced. Now I'm fired. That was my big dream. And dude, I don't even think it was 5 months later. I think it was like 2 months later, Paco hired you at Hot 98.3.
Okay.
So yeah. So dude, I was so jealous, man. I was so jealous. I've never told you this. This is the first time I've ever told Adlai this. I was so jealous. And then what made me even more angry was that I was listening to you one Saturday morning and you played the dirty version of, I want to say Back That Ass Up.
No way. Remember. Did I?
Yeah. Yeah. And then
and you were nobody. Wait, did anybody call me?
Yeah, it was like 8 o'clock in the morning. Like, but you were freaked out. Like you were freaked all the way out. And you called me. Did you call? you must have called the house. You call it because we didn't have cell phones yet. So you called the house and you're just like, dude, I just played the dirty version of Back That Ass Up. I think I'm gonna get fired, blah, blah, blah.
Really?
And then Paco, yeah. And then Paco didn't fire you. And I was so mad because I was like, man, I got fired for saying the word S on the air, and this dude just played all them cuss words and he doesn't get fired from the radio. Like I was so mad. Dude, I was really jealous when you got that job at Hot.
Really?
Well, yeah, absolutely, dude. When you got your overnight weekend job, I never told you, obviously, because I'm a dude, and but and this is the first time you're ever hearing this. But
dude,
yeah,
but you always rolled with me. You always rolled with me. Well, not always, because I remember you like, let me roll with you, and I'm all like, all right. But then I'm like, dude, I don't want them to be like, dude, you can't just be bringing your homies all the time. I always wondered about that, but you were cool. No,
dude. Here's what happened. Like, man, I'm so glad that I can fill in the rest of your memory. So here's what happened. This is what like made me be like, oh no, dude, Adelaide, I shouldn't be jealous of people in general, and I definitely shouldn't be jealous of Adelaide. I got that job with MTV. Remember, I got that local stringer job with MTV. So you were working at Hot, I was working at MTV, and like Thomas was positive I was going to get the job. Like he was already telling people, yeah, Sketch works at MTV. Ha. Nice. F word the point, forget the point. It doesn't matter. He works at MTV now. And so I got the job. And what it was, you guys, it was before the internet was kind of a thing. They would hire local people in local towns to write on local bands and like stuff like that. But I had to write an article on a local disc jockey. And so I was like, man, I can't believe I don't remember this story, because I tell this story all the time.
It was the Nate guy. It was, I know who you're talking about now. I do remember that, because you wrote on Rascal, right?
I did. But what happened was I was going to write on Kathy Rivers, because I was like, oh, I'm going to go write on Kathy. Now I can be like, I'm at MTV. You're still here at this whack radio station. And you're like, Sketch, you want to be on the radio. And I was like, yeah, man. And you're like, don't write on Kathy. And I was like, well, who can I write on? And you're like, write on Rascal. I'll take care of it. And I was like, all right. So you went and talked to Rascal, and we're like, hey, my homeboy is going to interview you for MTV.com. And he was like, oh, man, because Rascal loved publicity.
Yeah.
And then that's why I started hanging out with you at the station, was because you introduced me to the guys after I interviewed Rascal. And about 2 weeks later, Rascal went up to Sacramento. You got Dwayne's job. I got your job. And Rascal asked me, like, after I got done interviewing him and I took him back the article, he goes, hey, man, you want to work? And I was like, yeah, dude, but, I told Paco I wanted to work and he didn't hire me. He goes, F a Paco, don't worry about that. That's what he said. Yeah. And then I got my job at Hot, and that's when I stopped. That
sounds like a Rascal thing.
Oh, it's definitely Rascal. But yeah, after I got that job, I realized, I'm like, dude, Adelaide just wants the best for me. Like, I just always knew you wanted the best for me. And so I wasn't jealous anymore. Because dude, that poor Adelaide froze. He just got a new computer and he froze. So I knew you wanted the best for me. Good. I'm going to say all this while I can't hear me, so it's all corny. I knew you wanted the best for me. Look at him freezing. I wonder if he's making those faces when he's freezing on purpose. Adelaide. Oh well. I knew Adelaide wanted the best for me, so I wasn't mad anymore. And then after that, I know, dude, you're totally glitchy. And then after that, it's definitely on your end. That's why I told you should have hardwired into your modem. Maybe we'll do that next time. So I was like, this guy's looking out for me, and he got me this job at this radio station. And at that point, then I just started hanging out all the time when Adelaide was there. So all like every jock's drop, every job's break, and then we started taking the van out and doing CD drops and sticker giveaways. He's still frozen, isn't he? Oh man. So when we started doing that, we'd go do these sticker drops.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but now he dropped all the way off. So we started doing these sticker drops, and man, I look like I'm on the news for murdering somebody. We started doing these sticker drops and CD giveaways, and it was always during. I know, huh, Isaiah? Dude, I told Adelaide, hardwire into your modem, but apparently I'm silly. But anyways, back to what I'm saying. So we're doing these sticker drops and CD giveaways, and we're doing them during D. Wayne's show. And so he's like, well, the two of you need a name. And we're like, yeah, we have a name. My name's Adley. His name's Sketch. And Dwayne's like, no, the two of you need a name. And I was like, okay, well, what's our name? And he goes, I'm going to call you the Chino brothers. And then, yeah, you're back on.
Hey, rewind it about 40 seconds. Start over 40 seconds ago. No, I'm just kidding. I heard most of it. I wanted to hear more about oh man. Adley, I knew you were looking out for me.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to watch this podcast later.
I'll watch another replay. I'll watch other.
You can just watch this later. Bro, that's why I told you to plug all the way in, so that way your Wi-Fi is not cutting out.
I know, dude. It's right there. That black box is my Wi-Fi, but it still needs to be hardwired. I got to get it. If anybody's got an Ethernet cable, drop one off. DM me.
Yeah, or you could spend the $3 at Best Buy. They're not that expensive.
I just got to make the trip, man. I'm still on quarantine.
Yeah, it's true.
But but I wanted to add something to that story because I know Brasco went to SAC, and I do not remember playing a bad version like that. Maybe I have selective memory. I just kind of remember the good stuff.
You freaked all the way out. You freaked all the way out when you played but it was like, but this is the thing is when I started working at the station, I started realizing, I'm like, what idiot would make a CD that has the clean version on track 1 and the dirty version on track 2?
Yeah.
like you shouldn't have that. Like you should just, Sobe water or buy water. I think it is buy water. Sobe water, buy water. I drink like old people stuff, Joe, like old white people stuff. Like stuff with antioxidants and all that crap. You know what I mean?
Hey, Andy B did that too. Remember that one time he played the Ice Cube? It was West Side. I think it was West Side Connection, Bow Down or something. But they did the same thing because we had CDs that you pop in the Denons, and track 1 was the dirty version. And dude, we had a hotline in the studio that actually worked, and people would hotline you, blow it up, like, "What are you doing?" Yeah.
I don't know. I don't. But why would you put the dirty version and the clean version on the same CD? That's the thing. So
makes no sense. It makes no sense. But you remember even being at remotes and giving away CDs, and people would be walking like all excited, like, "Oh, I got the new Little Kim," and then be walking to their car. 5 minutes later, turning around like, "Dude, this is the clean version, man. I don't want this."
Yeah, that's what we got.
Remember they get mad at us?
Yeah, that's what we got. We got the clean version. I remember when Eminem's second album dropped, you and I went out to give them out, and they only gave us 10 prints. Dude. Remember? They only gave us 10 prints. You know why they gave us 10 prints? Because they knew program directors were going to sell them S's, dude. So they gave us 10 copies.
Yeah, there weren't a lot. Yeah, they just gave you a handful, yeah.
Yeah, they gave us 10 copies, and they gave us the clean ones. And you and I went down, the South Side, and we gave those out, but we made people have to work for them. Like they had to do prizes. And one of the like it wasn't a contest, but one of the things we made people do. Do you remember this?
I remember if it's DJ
Joey. Yes,
I remember what you made someone do for something. Yes,
that was for the Eminem album, dude. Yeah, it was DJ Joey. Yeah, so
that's a good story too. And that was this is back in CDs, and we'd give them away like the day before they went into stores, so people were extra excited about getting them. Dude, we take the van out. It'd be me and you and whoever, DJ Joey or whatever, and we'd have. Well, Circle K's were big in Tucson. We'd go to the Circle K, which is like a fast trip out here in Bakersfield, like a 7-Eleven, like whatever. And dude, we'd have a mob of 200-300 people in a parking lot at a Circle K.
At a Circle K.
Like,
that poor guy working at the Circle K.
Yeah, we want the CD. They'd go crazy for it. But you can tell the story about DJ Joey. That's a good story.
I mean, that's a crazy story. But I thought we were going to talk about bad club DJ or bad club owners and bad promoters. Well, okay, let me tell the story about DJ Joey, because Adley looks like Max Headroom with the slow movement.
Dude. Well, dude, I know we get all sidetracked.
All right.
Okay. Please.
So DJ Joey, we get the new Eminem album. Everybody wants this new Eminem album, and we're giving it away the day before it goes on sale. The clean version, though, like nobody knows it's the clean version. And so we're just like, how wild will people get? So we're making people like, I don't know, jump in the air, like just silly things. I can't even remember all the things, but I remember the one thing we did do. We got DJ Joey. This is skinny cholo kid who used to work for us called DJ Joey, DJ Payaso. He was a good kid though. But anyway, so DJ Joey goes into the Circle K and fills his mouth with the ketchup and the mustard, and then a girl had to make out with him in order to get that M&M CD.
Relish.
Yeah, so gross. Yeah, so bad.
And they did. They made out for a while,
dude.
It was nasty. It was really gross.
That was a great album, though. What are you gonna do?
I would have made out with DJ Joey, I guess.
For that album,
for a free M&M CD.
Of course.
For that album, yeah, I would.
Phenomenal. Phenomenal.
That was so great. Hey, you know what though? Too speaking of DJ Joey, one, he was a really good DJ mix guy, really dope, and two, he was a really dope artist. You remember those? Yeah,
he was. He was a good graffiti artist. I agree with you. All right, come on, man. Let's talk about bad club owners, dude. Because this whole story's been boring all up till now, and I guarantee you, I got some lambasting to do. I guarantee you, I got some lambasting to do.
I know one club owner you're ready to just kind of.
Oh, dude, I can't stand this, dude. I can't wait to. Yeah. All right, so do you have like a list of bad club owners, or is there only like a couple club owners that you can't stand?
Because the most prominent one probably in our stint at Hot 98.3 was probably Acid from The Rock.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, your whole career. Okay, let me kind of introduce this. If you're a DJ of any form, whether you're like a mariachi DJ, you're a karaoke DJ, like whatever kind of DJ you are, you're going to have to deal with a club owner. Because we were talking about promoters a couple weeks ago and what kind of snakes promoters are, but club owners can be right up there with them. Because a club owner usually is somebody who wasn't cool in high school or something to that effect. A lot of times has cocaine money. Like there's always like something a little bit wiry about a club owner. But sometimes you just get that one particular club owner that you're like, bro, I hope your club shuts down, dude. I don't like you. I don't like you. I do not like you. Oh my God. And I have one on my mind that I want to light up, but I want Ad to go first because I know I got lava. So what club owner, and like, dude, you've ran way more clubs than I have. So as a DJ for 20 years, how long you been DJing? What club owner can you not stand?
I can tell. Look, you know me, Mike. I rarely do I hate somebody. And we had that one promoter, and you talked about the gig I went to where I was it was the Mexican restaurant at the mall, and I was on the side, right? We talked about that. It was the same guy, and I don't like him, but he put me. And his whole thing was always he would try to make money out of nothing a lot of times, and because in the beginning I moved to Bakersfield in 2005. And we started. He had this club spot, and it sucked. And I'm like, dude, look, put me on. We'll blow it up. We'll get it cracking. And the name of the club was called Club Chonies. So
it really was called Club Chonies.
Club Chonies. So if anybody in Bakersfield remembers it, this is 2005, 2006. So it was called Club Chonies.
For everybody who doesn't speak Spanish, Chonies means underwear. Club Chonies underwear.
Club underwear. Yeah. But it was, dude, we talk about it on the air. It sounded funny, so it was silly and everything. And it was in a little Mexican restaurant. I'm going to say it's called El Rio. It is now a Goodwill. Like it was next to a Goodwill. The Goodwill expanded and took it over. And but we could squeeze in 300-400 people in this little spot, and it got packed. It got cracking. It was super busy. And we're like, cool, we're making money. We did that. We did a couple other clubs. We're making money. Everything was going solid. And Mike, we talked about this off the air and stuff too. The station that I worked at turned off, just went off.
Yeah, went black, went dark.
Yeah, it was Play 103.9. They just said, look, we're not doing it anymore. It's off. So we didn't have anything. Careful. And so I was we're like, all right, we're going to try this stuff. We try these different clubs. And you went to the one spot too downtown, remember? Because it was the Nile.
The Fox. What was it, the Nile?
It was the Nile. It's called the Nile. Yeah, the Fox is the theater, but this is the one around the corner of the Nile. And it got cracking for a while, but then it kind of, dude, clubs have an expiration date. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
They're good for 6 months, good for a year, whatever. And then the next spot opens up. And then,
if you can get them a year, you did good. Like if you can keep a club popping for a year, because usually they're good for probably first 4 months are popping. There's a line. Then month 5 and 6, the good looking girls stop showing up, but the larger ladies are still showing up, but they're paying.
And so you're milking it. You're milking it for everything you got. And Oscar from Proud Entertainment, and again, he's a friend, dude. He's cool. But he had this like, we got to make it work. So we'd go in there and he'd start like working deals. And again, you saw me at one of the clubs where I was probably lucky if I walked out of there with $20-$30. But it got. Are you gonna fall again?
No. Why were you doing it if it was only $20 or $30?
Because we were trying to make it grow, and and DJs watching. If there's any DJs, there's always whether it's a house party or a club or a restaurant trying to be a club or whatever, they lowball you, or they'd be like, hey, look, and Mike, we remember this. Hey, look, we're gonna pay you, $50, $100, and then when it gets cracking, then we'll start chipping you off more. And if you're young and like, man, I need a gig, I'm already doing clubs, you do it. But then after a while, you get to that point where you're like, dude, I'm tore down, bro. I can't do this no more. I got to get the paid gigs. But you can't knock the hustle either, though. You still got to try. So it depends on where you're at in the game. At this point, if someone said, hey, come through, set up, I'll pay you $50 and I'll feed you, I'd be like, I can't do it. It's just not worth my time. And it got to that point, dude. So last I heard, Oscar, we still talk every once in a while, but he's selling solar. So if anybody needs solar, DM me. I'll let you know his number. But you came out there, the clubs, the good clubs, we worked together. The bad clubs, we also worked together too. But it's a tough game period though, as you know.
Yeah, so, but you like Oscar. That's the thing.
Yeah, but there was a point where I was like, dude, I'm out. Peace. I'm done. Sorry. I can't, I had to bail. And he still hustled for a while. And even when I worked at the alternative station, I remember telling you about this when Everclear came through, he ran the club that we came into, and it was obviously packed because Everclear was there. And he ran the bar and stuff. And I think he still might owe the station money. I don't know.
Okay.
But I'm just saying,
all right.
But I'm just saying.
Now here's my thing. So I think there's a definition issue, because when I say you effing hate a club owner or you effing hate a promoter, there are specific reasons why anybody, specifically DJs, hate club promoters or hate club owners. Like that, like swagger, that like, oh, look at me, that cocaine swagger that club owners have. It's so annoying. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
And like, that's why I hate, I don't want to say hate. Hate's a real strong word, but I do not like this dude called Steve in Tucson. I don't know what his last name was. I can't remember anymore. But his name was Steve, and he owned Roses and More, and he owned the Metro nightclub.
Metro Stevie.
Hold on, we'll get there. So this dude was such a douchebag. So he was like this white nerdy douchebag who hung out at like the hipster bars, and like he was probably Adlai's and my age right now. So he was probably like 48 years old, and he'd go to these like hipster bars where like the 22-year-olds would go, and like he just always wanted to be so cool. Like, and then I believe he got caught selling cocaine. I can't really tell this. I don't know how the story works. But I feel like you remember that Adlai through his Roses store. Remember, because then he put that commercial on the radio.
There was definitely some shadiness going on. I don't know if it was proven or not, if it was alleged or whatever, but there was definitely some questionable activities going on.
Well, he was like, he put a commercial on the radio. And he's like, the Tucson police were absolutely incorrect for raiding my store. I've never sold cocaine before. It's like, dude, none of us knew this happened. Why are you telling us on the radio? Yeah. Sorry,
yeah, that was now that the Metro though, That was a sweet
I'm
club.
not done with this guy. I'm not done with this guy. No, I'm not done with this guy. So this dude makes this commercial about you know, oh yeah, I didn't sell anyone cocaine. I make all my money from roses. All right, smash cut 2. Now me and Adlai are working at Hot 98.3. And this joker used to do this thing with his club where he would hire every single DJ. So that way there'd be no other club that would have a DJ that would compete against his night.
That's me.
Oh, I thought you were sending him a tomato. I thought you were sending me a tomato.
No.
But anyway, so this dude would you're good with me telling this story then, right? That's not what that text said?
Yeah. No. Just
okay.
if I drop out,
I understand. I'm good because dude, I got a lot of ammunition. Don't worry. I hate this guy. I don't want to say hate because it's not a nice word. Okay. So
hey, if I drop out though, I'll come back in.
Fair enough. Thanks for keeping doing that in the middle of the story while I'm flowing with it. It's easy for me to keep my train of thought of where I was. Hold on, let me rewind. So he puts this radio commercial on and says, I didn't sell cocaine. Now, smash cut to several years later, me and Adlai are working at the radio station, and this guy would hire all the DJs so they couldn't DJ anywhere else. But he hadn't done that to me and Adlai yet. We were still at Cucarachas. However, he would come in and have to have his radio spots made for his club. The Metro was the name of the club. And this guy was such a freaking you-know-what hole, I couldn't take it. Because he would stand next to me while I was producing the commercial, and he'd be like, I want something hot, like Dre or Biggie. I'm like, bro, you don't listen to hip-hop. Like, you're a 48-year-old white nerd. Please do not tell me what to play. But he'd be like, no, please. So he'd stand there the whole time while I was producing the commercial. And if anybody's ever produced anything, please, if you're ever getting something produced, don't stand next to the guy producing it and tell him what to do. Just let him do his job. Do you agree with me on that, Adlai? No, he's dropping out. Just let him do his job, because producing is a pain in the butt, and somebody telling you what to produce while you're producing it sucks even worse. And Steve used to do that all the time. So finally, he wanted to be on his own commercials. So I was like, all right, homeboy, you want to be on your own commercials? You don't like my voice? Cool. We'll put you on your own commercials. And he's like, yeah, but I need a cool name like Sketch or, something like that.
Yeah,
I said,
totally agree.
I said, I got the perfect nickname for you, friend. Perfect nickname. You own that club. Why don't you tell everybody you own that club by using it as like a prefix to your name? And he was like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, dude, you should call yourself Metro Stevie. And he did. This fool went on the radio 3 times a week telling everybody, hey, this is Metro Stevie. Come down to my club this weekend. Blah, 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 blah. All right. This club owner, Metro Stevie, he had these wet t-shirt contests that he always wanted me and Adlai involved in. Like, hey, can you guys throw a wet t-shirt contest? Dude, one time, this guy gave me and Adlai a bottle of Moet, and he was like, go up on stage and tell all the women that you'll give this bottle of Moet to whoever gives me their panties. I just put that thing behind the counter, bro. I wasn't getting on the mic telling girls, hey, man, Steve's going to give you a bottle of Moet if you show me your panties. I was like, I'm not telling nobody that. I just put that bottle right behind the counter. And here's the next thing. That dude, Steve, he never gave us a tab. So me and Adlai, we would just walk in the coolers and we would just take his beers. We just took his beers. I didn't care about that man's beers. Them beers were my beers now. So we would walk behind. And here's the thing. All the bartenders for Metro Stevie, they hated him too. So they didn't give a crap that we were stealing beer from this man. They're like, oh, well. Then Metro Stevie had the nerve to tell us to stop stealing beer. I'm like, bro, you ain't giving us a tab. How am I going to get beer if you don't got a tab? Oh, dude, my upstairs neighbors. I just thought about that. I don't have upstairs neighbors at my house, but I'm at the shop right now. Ranting like a madman. Yeah, there's 3 people live above my shop. They hate when I do TikToks.
Oh, they do.
I mean, I just did a diatribe on Metro Stevie where I'm screaming at the top of my lungs about, dude, I just didn't like him, bro. Like,
did we get the beers? They had a cooler right there, right? And we just grabbed
we just walked back there and grabbed the beers. Dude, yeah, I told them while you were rebooting about when Metro Steve gave us that bottle of Moet and said, hey, the first girl that gives me her panties, I'll give her this Moet. Do you remember he said that? I just put that Moet back in the shelf. This dude, you effing old nerd. I'm not gonna debase myself by getting on a microphone. Hey everybody, it's Sketch, man. Yay, Sketch, you're cool. You know who else is cool? Metro Stevie. Hey, come on over here, Metro. I told everybody how I gave him his name because he was like, I need a cool name. I was like, yeah, dude. Well, your shop's called your club's called the Metro. Your name's Steve. You should go by Metro Stevie. And later I was like, look at that dumbass going by Metrosexual.
He loved
Stevie.
it though, right? He went by Metro Stevie, right?
Yes, because he thought it was cool. Dude, I hated that guy so bad. I used to have Hector Yutzi do his commercials. I'd write these commercials for Hector Yutzi. So for you guys watching, Hector Yutzi, he was like the classic WKRP disc jockey. He had the voice and everything like, hey, everybody, this is Hector Yutzi on Hano 1600, por okay? So he had like that perfect voice, right? I hated Steve so bad, dude. I would write commercials for Hector to read with like all kinds of ebonics and slang in it. And he'd be like, hey, you'll be flossing like Richard Dawson when you go down to the Metro. And like, I would make it sound as corny as I could make it. And Hector's voice was so good for it. That's how bad I hated this dude. I couldn't stand the view of this man. Well, and then that was the thing. So, dude, I don't know why you don't hate him as bad as I do.
I didn't work with him that close though. I just,
God.
Yeah. Cause I was gone by the time he rolled up to do his spots. I was out of there by 6 a.m?
Dude, you know when you were the morning show producer and that mother effer would show up at 5:30 in the afternoon and one of the sales girls would run out and be like, dude, that's when Steve would show up. Steve would show up at like 5:30. I'm trying to get home. I've been at the station since 5 a.m. and they'd run and grab me. A sketch. Oh, dang it. What do you want? Can you produce a commercial? All right. Who's it for? Steve. Oh. All right, come on. Let's go. And we get in the studio, dude. I'll be like, all right, here we go. And I put a bed on, like a big L bed, bump, bump, bump.
Yeah.
No, that's not what I want. And dude, he'd want to talk on his commercials and he'd want to step on the lyrics. He'd be like, oh no, everybody has to hear the real song. I'm like, Steve, you don't talk over the words, bro. Like you just let me loop it. No. Oh, dude, oh my gosh. And then like, dude, it got to the point where I hated this dude so bad. I'd have Hector Yutzi do the commercials, and then the bed would be that Puff Daddy song. Can't nobody hold me down. Yeah. Da, da. But it starts with the gay pride song loop. And you don't realize that because it just goes, I'm coming. Dun, 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 dun. But that's the gay pride song. So I looped it and played it under Steve's voice while Hector Yutzi did the commercial.
Oh, dude,
that's
awesome.
How bad I can't stand that man.
That's
dude, I can't stand him. Dude, and then he made me do a wet t-shirt contest. He didn't make me. He paid me to do a wet t-shirt contest. I had to recruit all these women, and then he took them to their office and watched them change, bro.
What?
Yeah, man. Before we squirt in with water.
Dude, that's hilarious. That's when you think about club owners, there were those types that were like, okay, I own a club, and that was their game. That's how they talk to chicks. Oh yeah, I own this club. And I don't know, girls watching. I mean, is that, I guess you're like, if it's a cool new brand new club and it's the place to be, that probably works on some, right? Don't you think?
No, not anybody watching our show.
Well, yeah. Well, one, there's probably no chicks watching, but
just wives of people. Like nobody watching our show.
At this point. But if you're 22, and you know what I mean? And it's nowadays it'd be a place to, get selfies for your Instagram or whatever. You know what I mean?
Guess.
But it would be, but I felt like Acid was at the Rock, and gosh, we got to save it for another time because we're almost at an hour. But he was business first.
He was business first.
Yeah, he would come in. We'd have meetings after the club when the club closed down. All right, everybody get together. We've got to have a meeting.
Yeah,
remember that? And it'd be the one guy. I want to say Clark. Was it Clark? The first guy? I can't remember.
The black dude.
Oh, there was that guy. No. There was the guy that owned it before. Chuck.
Oh, bro, I don't remember.
I can't remember. But anyways, Acid was kind of the manager, and he was the owner and stuff. And he would go in there, and he'd be like, "All right, guys, good night. We did it. We did good at the bar. Everything's cool." And then Acid would come on, and Acid would scream, remember? Oh my gosh, you guys going in. You're overpouring the drinks. You're hooking up your friends. He would go off on everybody's just like, what is going on? But this is every Friday night. We got to save that for the next time. We got to save that.
And we had to sit and listen to it so we could get paid too. That's
and then he wouldn't pay you till after. So you're like, and most of the talk was to security and the bartenders.
Well, it's never to us. He never yelled at us, but like,
you always say,
yell at them.
Music, good job,
Chino
guys.
Brothers. Yeah,
good job. Like, all right, we just played music. I mean, everybody was dancing and stuff.
Your Chino Brothers, good job.
Good job.
But I feel like he messed up our names, like Chinese buddies or something like that. Like he knew our names, but like our crew name, I don't think he knew. I think he'd be like, "Good job, Chinese buddies," and we're like, "All right."
That's just how he was, though. That's just how he was. Dude, but I got something. Can I cheer you up now?
Yeah, please.
Okay, I'm gonna show you something. I know you're his biggest fan, and I am now a very close second biggest fan to this guy. He's famous on Clapper.
This is our Clapper celebrity. Oh yeah, Big Andy.
Are we ready?
Are we Clapper ready? Celebrity. I think so, dude. Right?
Let's do it. There he is.
Hey, Clapper. Hold on. Hey, Clapper. It's the Chino brothers, and we found our Clapper celebrity of the week, and that is Big Andy. Adley, you want to play this Big Andy video for these guys?
Are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Hey, you want to say
there's no audio.
Yeah, I can hear it.
I mean, for crap,
you can?
I feel like that, but damn, girl, you were good.
Tell me what he's saying. Give me a play-by-play.
Go get her for people. Let's go. I love your tats too, man. You got some good tats.
He's saying, you're a hot mama. Let me see those tattoos. You're the hottest girl on Clapper. That's what he said.
Hey,
dude, this guy's a Casanova. Or here he goes again.
Girl from
yeah.
I mean, for Clapper, I feel like
that,
but damn, girl, you were good.
Yeah.
Hot mama.
Hot mama.
Hurry, follow people. Let's go.
I'm not gonna follow her, but we want people to follow you, Big Andy.
Too,
Big Andy 706.
Yeah.
Wait, is
Dude,
he?
Big Andy.
Clapper.
That's our Clapper celebrity shout out of the week. Everybody follow Big Andy on Clapper.
Nice. I'm following him now.
This was kind of a train wreck episode, but you know what?
It was fun. No, we're rolling. I thought it was a good one. We always say that too, kind of like, you know what? And then I go back again. Mike and I have said this, and I've brought this up. We're our biggest fans, but we're also our biggest critics. And there's always room for improvement. You know what I mean? So.
Well, I fell over and knocked over half of my shelf behind me. We'll start there. Adley froze 3 times.
I got mad glitchy right when we're getting into the meat of it too, which kind of.
Yeah. And then that's it. But
dude,
hey,
we're on a roll. We're on a roll. I thought we're on a roll.
It was good. And we kept pretty close to an hour.
Hey, if you didn't like it, post in the comments that it sucked. Hey, look, nothing.
But dude, next one's gonna be better. Every single one is better than the last one.
Yeah. No, they're always a lot of fun. We appreciate everybody watching too, and we've got some other stuff lined up. Mike, I'm gonna talk to you about this after we get off. But
in the green room,
there's a couple other people I was thinking about trying to get a hold of.
I got you.
Yeah. So with that, thank you everybody for tuning in to the Chino Brothers Season 1, Episode 7. And remember, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 6 p.m. Cali time and 9 p.m. over in Pittsburgh, East Coast time. Tune in, be safe. Thanks so much for watching, and make sure you follow us on
Facebook, TikTok, and most importantly,
YouTube. Clapper, the new Clapper. Yeah.
I like how we both went from 2 different apps. Yeah, but we're also on YouTube. So you can follow us on everything.
Got a website too.
Yeah, on our website too. All right.
Yeah, so follow us on that. Appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you next time. Chino